So I started doing research as an undergraduate, and that's what kind of like got me down in this pathway. So the scholarship program I was in as an undergraduate required us to do research, and honestly it wasn't on my radar. I didn't thought that much about it, but just because of that requirement I got in the lab a little bit and just enjoyed it, and I really just kind of haven't looked back from there. Some of the projects we have, areas that we work in, like as you know from Vicor, some like cancer immunotherapy. So immunotherapies are a good example of something that's like super promising. Like a lot of patients have been cured of their cancer using these approaches, but they only work in a small portion of people. And so how can you expand the number of patients that respond to those? Or for instance, another like area of the lab we work in, another application is mental health. And so, it's really hard to get a good drug regimen for people suffering from like something like depression. And so how can you take a delivery approach to where you can like ensure that those patients get the right combination of medicines at the right time and ensure the compliance with the drug regimen so that they have really a better overall outcome and really like see relief of their depression symptoms for the long term. I was doing my graduate school research, and it was like a more of an engineering project, but we're figuring out like how are we going to apply this. And some collaborators when we were at Vanderbilt, there's a big cancer center there, and we met some collaborators who are big breast cancer experts, and they wanted to work together. They were awesome, and so we kind of wanted to work with them. It was a good like group and everything, but also it was actually before that. I think about sophomore year of undergraduate, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's doing really well now. And she's finished all of her treatments, and actually a good while ago, and is in remission, if you will. But that process like really struck me, particularly because like the treatments that she got, because she's lucky enough to have a type of breast cancer that has targeted therapies available to it. Those were developed in the 90s and 2000s, and so these are like brand new treatments that like biomedical research has given patients. So that was like really eye-opening to me to see the impact that you could have with your research, and to think about, this is what we wake up and do this for. Like, there are good weeks and bad weeks, but even on the bad weeks, like we wake up and we do this because like we might be able to help someone else's mom down the road. We actually have a drug that, and it's, I played a very small part of it. I was, part of the scientific team that, again, preclinical, so, before testing in humans. So we were testing in animals. Does this drug work for what we're saying it would work for? And what we said it would work for is that it could help block the spreading of cancer or otherwise metastasis. And so by giving this drug, which actually was a kind of a shelved heart medication, it had been used in patients before and it was safe. So we did some of the testing in animals. We're like, okay, it does actually work. It blocks the spreading of cancer in these animals. And since it was a medicine that had already been used in patients, it was pretty easy to start a clinical trial on that. But we've also patented a few of our technologies that we've used, and those are not far enough along to really say like they're being used in humans or in some kind of clinical setting, but it's exciting to see that aspect of translation of, okay, these aren't ready for the clinic yet, but we are starting like to translate them into the marketplace, so like these have potential to become a product. I would like just some people to like kind of hear about what we're doing, and just to know that like I think that this is there's a wave coming. This is a growing area, both just nationally everywhere, but also here, like there's a group of us who are developing these new technologies and like trying to improve the way that patients are treated and these different types of diseases are handled in interesting ways. And I hope that 5 years or so from now you won't be able to ignore us, right? Like we'll have some nice success stories that people